Hello, how's it going? So I get this question all the time. Why is my website is not converting? And the answer is 100%. Chief reason, number one, your website is not converting is that it's slow. But why is your website slow? Now we're talking. So your website is slow because you have images on it. Really? But should I not have images on my website? No. You should definitely have images on your website, but you should always make sure that the images you have are not mega huge images that even your web browser cannot see as is and will have to shrink in order to display it and in order to see it. And at the same time, your file size, your image file size is not huge so that it takes a long time to load, which will delay your homepage on your website from loading, and then people would just get fed up and leave. So your website is not converting because people are not going to wait for your homepage to load. So if you've put so many huge images on your homepage and it looks great, and you've also linked one of your videos from YouTube or somewhere else to add more content to your homepage to make it explain what you do better to the users and the visitors of your website, this will make your homepage on the website really heavy and it will take a long time to load. So let me demonstrate what I mean here. So here is the free audit page on my website that if you need me to have a quick look at your website and audit it for you, it's a free audit. You can just come to this page, which is humantalents.ca/complimentary website audit. And there are dashes. So it's complimentary website audit. And you can just scroll down, input your website, click next, and leave me your name and your email, and I will send you that website audit as a video. So I will just go to your website as a regular user, scroll around and push some of the buttons and maybe fill in your contact form. And then I will record this with my commentary, send it to you and tell you exactly the areas that you need to change on your website. But let me show you what I meant when I said your website is not converting because it's slow, and it's slow because of the images. So here's a page on my website. I think it's a copy of my about page or whatever. That's the regular page. So let's just test it in two places. Pingdom tools. I'm gonna start test here, and then I'm gonna go to JT metrics and I'm gonna test it in here, and let's see what we get. So we'll just give this some time to run. And as you've seen before, when I share my screen, things tend to load a little bit slower onto the camera or the screen. So look at this. Even by my own standards, this page took 5 seconds to load. I haven't even changed anything in it. I'm actually I'm actually gonna make it worse now by adding the images, so to show you like a demonstration of what happens. If you look here at this one, it gets a B. It still loads in 5.6 seconds. And if you see like for 2 seconds, nothing is happening. And then by 2.8, the content of my page starts to come in here. And then it takes about 5.6 seconds to be fully loaded. While you think 5.6 seconds is nothing, it's just 5 seconds. The standard on the web in general is 3 seconds. So if your page doesn't at least start appearing to the user within 3 seconds, they will lose patience and click away, never come back. But anyway, let's just have a quick look at why it's taking that much. But if you look here, it says that the biggest thing on my page was an image, or like a bunch of images really. And this bunch of images is about 738 kilobyte. And then I have the JavaScript, which is about 58, that's normal. And then the font, which is about 19. So that's a normal page on a normal website. To have like a bunch of images be 700K. That's not that bad, but still it's costing me 5.6 seconds, which is not really like really bad. But if you can bring this, if I can bring this, and I will work on it as well because that's a copy of my about page, if I can bring the whole page to load in 3 seconds or less, I'll be doing a much better job in getting more eyes on my page, which will improve my conversions. And here's the other test from Pingdom, exactly the same thing. If you look at it, it's more or less the same. It's 5.3 seconds. It's graded it as C instead of a B. And then if you go by content type, and you'll see the images, and here instead of 700K, it says it's 500K. But this is the page before I did any work on it now to kind of demonstrate to you what I mean. And this is what it looks like. And probably the 700K is just this big background here and the image of my face. And that's what is like the biggest thing on the page. And that's what I need to deal with. But let me just go and show you what everybody's doing with their websites. In general, people, what they do, they take images using their phone, and then they want to upload this to their website to use it on the page. So I have a couple of images here that came straight from my phone. This one is like a portrait image, and then the other one is this landscape image. And these two images I just copied directly from my phone. If you look at the image, if you just hover your mouse over and look at the dimensions. So look at the dimensions here. It says 4,224 by 5,632, and the size of the file is 5.5 megabytes. That's not kilobytes, guys. That's megabytes. That's just one image. And here's the other image is 4,096 pixels by 3,072 pixels, and the file size is 8.8 megabytes. So here's the question. How long, if I have one image here, one big image here, that its size is about 500K to 738K, and is causing my website or my page where this image is to take 5 seconds to load. Can you just do simple math? And if I then replace the 700K image by the 8.8 mega image, how much damage it will do in slowing down the page? Let's find out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the page. I use Divi, as you guys know. If you've been following me and my videos, you know that I use Divi as my theme and editor. So I'm here, I've opened Divi. I'm going to go to this section, and I'm going to go to the background of the section, and I'm going to add my image as a background to this section. So here, let's see what happens if I upload the image that I got straight from my phone here. Full disclosure, guys, when I try to upload it as is, because it was 8.8 gigs, here, let me show you. I go add a background image, upload files, and go find it from my desktop. Here, the original one, which is 8.8 gigs. My server is not allowing me to even upload it because it's too large. I have put that setting on the server myself. It's in the PHP settings, so I could actually control that and allow larger files. But of course, as I know better, the larger the file, the slower the page. So I've put this in there to, even when for me, if I forget or if I have somebody else working on the site, they wouldn't be able to upload something larger than 8 megabytes. Even 8 megabytes, in my opinion, is too large. So I've resized the image to 5 megabytes. So let's upload that one here. and then I'm going to upload it. I did it as a background, so what I'm going to need to do is to go here and remove the other images, and then even go to the background here and remove the image in the background. So right now I just have this image as a background. Just gonna make the section a little bit bigger. So let's just give it a little bit of padding. Maybe I'll give it 10% up and down. Here it is. So here's an example. This is what most people do. They get a picture from their phone and then they upload it to the website and they click save. So I'm gonna click save. And then let's say down there I wanted to add a portrait image. So let's create one more column here. So I'm gonna have this as 3 columns. I'm gonna go here and choose an image. And I'm going to upload the portrait image that comes from my phone. Okay, portrait. Okay, it is taking a long time because it's 5 megabytes as well. Here it is. So let's assume that I finished editing the page. Save, and I'm going to exit the builder. Here's what it looks like now with these 2 images that I just uploaded. And let me test again. So in the old test, it was 5.6 seconds, right? And the image was about 738 kilobytes. Now let's see what happens if I say retest. Run it here and then come back here. Also again, 5.3 seconds. And the image here was shown as just 500 kilobytes. So let me put the link again and start my test. Let's see what happens now. Of course, the test is taking longer because the test is actually visiting the page as a user. So everything on the page has to load first before the test will conclude. I can now confirm that it's seeing the new image. And if you see, the test is still running. I wonder how many seconds that will be for the page. It will take for that page to load. So it's still maintaining B grade for me, but you see the time to load that page has jumped from 5.3 seconds all the way to 12.6. And now you see the images are about 1.1 megabytes. Of course, this is because I have some optimization on my server that compressed these 2 images. There were 5 megs and 5 megs, so 10 megs. Compressed them. It was able to compress them on its own to kind of 1.1 megabyte. So instead of giving this page, or instead of this page taking somewhere around maybe 30 seconds to load, my server has dealt with it and reduced that to 12.6 seconds, which is totally unacceptable. Like, there's no way on earth some visitor of the web page will wait for 12 seconds for the page to load. While this is loading, we've already gotten our results here, so we can talk about it. So imagine if on this page, so this, I replaced one image here up and just added one small image here, right? And that has made the page twice as slow, more than twice, from 5.3 to 12.6. So that was like a 205 or a 210% increase in the page size as well as in the loading time, making this page so slow. Imagine with just 2 images, I managed to bring it to its knees. And you guys, you go and add 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 images on one page. Like on my home page, look how many images are there. And then you save it and call it a day. Of course, your web page will not load and people will not wait for it. And you'll have bad conversion, right? Here's 1 image, 2 images, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got some icons here. and then I've got the images that are part of these posts, but my home page is not slow. So what did I do? Like, what's the right way of doing this? How do you fix this? Well, as a start, you look at not just your file size, but you look at the image dimension. So look at what's the dimension of my image on the page. So right here, I've got this one, which is used as the background. And I could tell that on most screens, like your website is not going to be used on somebody's 100-inch TV. Most people are going to be visiting your website either from a mobile device, like a phone or a tablet, most probably and most definitely a phone, or they'll be using their computer. They'll be using their laptop, or mostly also their laptop or their computer in the office or in the house. And everybody has, on average, unless like they're a designer, they would have like a 24-inch or a 26-inch monitor. And on the laptop, they would have maybe the biggest monitors display would be maybe 18 inches. So no one will be looking at it from like a huge screen. So you don't need to have a huge image. So in most cases, this will not be more than maybe 1920. Like let's say Full HD. Full HD is 1920 by 180, 1080. That's in pixels. So my browser and the user's browser, anyone who's going to your website, if your image is even 1920 by 1080, depending on the screen size of the user of your website, the browser for them will even reduce to fit it on their screen size. And if they're looking at it from a mobile device, it will be reduced further so that it displays in full on that mobile, which is what we call the responsive design, right? It will just squeeze in all the contents of the page to fit the screen of the mobile. So there's actually absolutely no point for me to put an image which is 4096 pixels by 3072 pixels. So step number one, you got to reduce this size to the maximum of 1920 by 180, right? You can use this, you can use any graphic software that you use, like Photoshop or anything else, GIMP or anything that you have on your machine, or you can use an online tool. The easiest thing is use an online tool. It's called I Love Image. And what I want to do, I want to resize my image. So I'm going to go click resize, select my image, the original one, which was 8 megs here. And you see, instead of 4000 pixels, I'm going to go and say maintain aspect ratio. And I'm going to go and give it the maximum of 1920. And then it will maintain the ratio, resize the image, download the image, save it. So now I'm going to replace my older one. Let's go and see how much reduction happened. So sample landscape. Let's just refresh. Oh, I think it downloaded in my downloads folder. Sorry, I got to bring it from my downloads folder and then replace the file. Here. Now it's 1920 by 1440 and it has been reduced in size from 8.8 megabytes to 1.82 megabytes. So we're already making progress here. The next step is also a very important step. You want to compress it. So you want to reduce the file size. You don't want to upload even 1.8 megabytes to a page because that would still make it load very, very slow. You want somewhere around maybe 700K, 500K, if you can make it less. So when you compress it, you're looking to maintain the clarity and the beauty of the picture that you have, but you also want to compress it in a smaller file size. So you want to use a good tool. You can also, again, use Photoshop or something else if you're an expert in that, but I use I Love Image. It's a free online tool, so why not? So I'm going to go and click here, compress image, and I'm going to select it. So here it is, sample landscape, click on compress, and it has reduced the size from 1.8 megs to 6.79K. That's pretty good. Let's download it to see if it looks. Which one is it? Hang on, let me. I got lost now. Download, click here, yes, and then save it. And then let's open the file to see, make sure it still looks good. In my opinion, it still looks good. Let's bring it here. It's in my downloads. And I'll bring it here and replace. Yes. Here it is, 6.79. And let me upload that and put it on my page and replace the one that we have. Let's also do the same thing for the other one, the one which is in portrait. So I'm going to select it from my desktop. And this one, you could actually switch over the dimensions because it's a portrait. So you don't need it to be 1920 width in pixels. So I'm going to go for 1080. I'm going to download it. Now choose my desktop because by default it will go to the downloads folder and replace it. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on compress. I'm going to now upload it again and compress it. So I'm going to upload the portrait one, compress it. See, the compression changed it from 720 kilobytes to 187. That's a great size, file size to upload on your website, guys. Let me download it here. I don't need sample 2 anymore. So these are the two pictures now after compression and resizing. These will be the two pictures that I will use for my website, that I will upload to my website. So let's go to our WordPress page. Remember, because of these two images, even when I want to edit it, because I have the two large 5 megabytes images, even editing is slow. So now let me see, it's it's glitching because of the size of the older images that I have. So let me go here, remove this, click again on add background image, and upload my file. Now, because I've already uploaded these two files before I upload them again, in order for WordPress to use the latest versions of my files, I'm gonna have to rename them. Or I have to go to my media library first, delete them. Oh, I can do that. I can delete, you know what? Let's stay on the page. So let's just leave it as is. Let me just rename them. So I'm going to say sample 2 P4 portrait, sample 3, whatever. Well, I'll leave it. And then I'm going to just call this one sample 1. And let's go. Let's go to the page and get our stuff done. Add background image, upload file, select file. Okay, this is sample 1. Which is the background in that top section above the fold. Yes. Yes. And let me now replace this one with the other file. And here's my page with the images. They look exactly the same, but they've been resized and compressed. They still look the same to me and to everybody, of course. Let me just save and exit my visual builder. And here we are. Here's the page. I can already tell that it has loaded quicker, but let's do our tests again. Let me go here, give it the link and analyze. And while we're doing that, let's also refresh the Pingdom one. And yes, I was using a server in Washington, DC. So start test. Let's see what happens here. I could already tell that this is much faster than 12.6 seconds. Okay, it is 5.8 because the image up here is way larger than the one that I had originally on the page before we started this test. But if you remember, we're only wanting now to reduce the 12.6 that we have. So we reduced it from 12.6 to 5.8, which is great. Again, I can also resize this image one more time because it's still a huge image to use in the background. Or I can just adjust my caching plugin to convert this image from a JPEG image to a WebP, which will take less time to load as well. But here I've just made my point that by just resizing and compressing the image, I've made everything load faster. Wow, look at this. Let's just ask ourselves another important question. Is it the only reason your web page is slow? Is the larger images the only reason your web page and your website is loading slowly? It's not the only reason, it's the chief reason, it's the main reason. If you do the compression and the resizing like I've shown you right now, you'll be okay. But this is responsible for, let's say, maybe 60-70% of why a page would be slow is the content on the page. Also, if you have content that has to come from another place, like let's say you've uploaded or linked a YouTube video, well, it has to bring the video from YouTube every time the page is loading, and that will take a few more seconds as well. But we said this is 60-70%. What's the other 30%? The other 30% is your hosting. So if your hosting is slow, and many shared hosting service providers are throttling the speed because they're sharing, the same server with multi-tenants, with so many other companies. It's not just you, right? You don't own a full server on the hosting provider on your own, unless of course you're paying for a full server. That's another thing. But almost everybody is using shared hosting, and so many of the shared hosting services are slow by default, even if they're reputable and big ones. I don't want to say names here, but you probably know who I mean. So if you're not sure how to choose a good hosting provider that is not going to throttle as much as the others, check the video where I'm talking about the hosting. So check my podcast, Web Tips for Entrepreneurs. It's episode number 2 when we talk about the hosting, and I give you my recommended hosting providers. I can also put some links down in the description box below for you to check them out. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.